Happy Friday and welcome to La Guillén Casa. Being Guillén here on La Vida Baseball. Nice Yankees shirt, only.
It's the only time I'll ever wear Yankee stuff. I'm a big Mickey Mantle fan. Obviously, for him being on the field, but I was a bigger fan of him off the field.
Off the field,
Big,
what's up,
big,
Ozzy?
big
You know, it's
drinker.
funny. I have a couple balls signed by Mickey Mantle. My friend
Who?
dad. My friend dad gave me 2 balls signed by him.
Yeah, little tidbit. I'm a big Mickey Mantle fan, but not with everything he did. He was probably half drunk when he did it. So, in my book, that's awesome.
He's a legend, one of the best in the game today. Happy in Major League Baseball, obviously. Happy Jackie Robinson game to get the show kicked off. But let's bring it to you one of the little background scenes on being on the gram and the Guillén family. That's what we got for you guys this week.
I hope it's not me.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Denise. Happy birthday to you. Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Somebody.
Wow.
You know what? The first thing I see when I think of is my mom's birthday yesterday. I see Adela. I don't know if she was hitting my dad or she was whatever.
So last night, for everyone who's been a parent, Sarah and I went out to dinner with the kids. An amazing restaurant, by the way, very family-friendly seafood in Homer Glen.
It's Orland Park.
Orland Park.
Yeah, not only that, it's a small place. It's called the Original Shrimp House.
Original Shrimp
Really
House.
good crabs.
Amazing food. But Adela, it was our first time out. Both kids, dinner, everyone. And Adela was there for him, even before leaving. And she didn't want to have anything. And Ozzy, she was just beating up Ozzy in the corner, punching him and doing whatever she wanted with him. But it was interesting. It was a good dinner. It was happy birthday, Eevees. But Adela was in rare form.
Yeah, it was actually her real birthday. On Sunday, we're going to have something in the house.
We got to record that.
So
Yeah,
I'm sure there'll be a lot of good videos.
I know it'll work.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of good videos coming out of that. And my mom wants to make sure that I tell that this is her 49th birthday.
49th birthday.
For the fifth year in a
So
row.
I'm gonna catch Eevees up eventually on the birthday count. So
Well, you know, you're 49. How old are you, Ozzy? They asked me how old I am. I said 68.
yes, you look good.
Man, you look good for 68.
Yeah.
But I say my real age, people are like, oh my God.
I say my real age, which is 36, which is actually last year you played professional big league baseball. I look really bad. You look way better than I did. So what's the next video that we got here for the Being Guillén? Doing it for the gram. Got a second video today.
Está pintando con el abuelo. Wow. Cuántos colores tan bonitos.
Blue, green.
Verde, blanco, azul y rosado. Está bonito.
Aquí verás, pink.
Haz tu nombre. Se está pintando los bubos. Es como los arregla todos derechito. Qué bonita, ¿ves? ¿Y por qué te tienes que pintar? Pink.
Pintando, pink. Pink.
O sea que el día de ayer, el día de hoy es el de mañana. Ya se los descuento. Mañana no cuenta, ¿ok? Ok, Adela. Mira al abuelo cuántos tienes. ¿Cuántas pizzas tienes?
Cuenta.
¡Wow! ¡Qué
va para?
bonita!
Ahí pinta eso, güey.
¡Qué bonita, amor!
Wow.
Ya oyen los sonidos. ¿Sale la lengua? ¿Y el burro? Ay, pero ¿por qué te tienes que pintar así? Hay que meterte bajo la regadera. María, la del barrio.
¿Te pica
¿Te
pica la pierna?
Sí, ya no todo el día. Así. Sí. Di los números. 1, 2, 3, 4 y 5. ¡Bravo! Píntalo. Para mi casa no vas a entrar, por esos zapatos están muy sucios para mi alfombra. Así me haces tú a mí.
No.
¿Oíste?
Well, the funny part about this video is that Ozzy, I wanted to know, number one, how did Ozzy get up from that position? Because his leg's all messed up right now. Number two, this was like at 7 o'clock at night. This is after Adela did not want to go into to our house. So they had to drive her to her grandparents' house. So I guess she wanted to.
Yeah. So my parents are in the process of moving. So there is a lot of stuff going around the house, and they live literally like 3 minutes down the road from where Ozzy lives. So Adela is a constant and frequent guest, whether that be in the pool or painting on the driveway.
I'm gonna tell you what, it take me like half an hour to get out of there. I was sitting there for half an hour. It take me like 35 minutes.
So you were resting.
So a little bit more of obviously we have to talk about a topic which is hard. Again, the unrest in the country. A lot of things going on that have affected the world of pro sports. NBA sitting out games, obviously because of protesting of police violence towards African Americans, blacks. The Mets and the Marlins, though, last night do it a little different. They take the field, okay? They tip their caps. Actually, the best part I thought was really cool, which I didn't know that what they were doing at the moment was they waited for 42 seconds to come off. And this is what happened. So we have a video. Let's show it real quick before we get into this topic of the Mets and the Marlins and MLB baseball protesting the current situation.
And now Lewis Brinson announced as the leadoff hitter for Miami. And all of the Marlins and Mets have come out of their dugouts. Michael Wacha takes off his hat, and all the Mets on the field are removing their hats as well. And now, after a moment of silence that lasted 42 seconds, the day before we celebrate Jackie Robinson Day, the Mets are exiting the field after both teams exchanged a wave of caps to one another. So it would appear as though, after a poignant moment, that the Mets and Marlins will not be playing baseball tonight. And the Black Lives Matter shirt left on top of home plate. And now,
well, to someone that's been in baseball for a very, very long time, meaning watching it, being there, to see two teams take the field and then walk off of it. Yes, there is no fans in the stands, but for them to be able to do that in unification, they've never done it for anything else. So to see that, it's that in itself, meaning regardless of what you believe, if it's right, wrong, what happened, they did it. It's a huge deal.
But I think it's very touchy. I'm sitting here watching that, and it's sad, and try to also think about really what's going on. I think we live in the best country in the world, and I think they have to have better create something to teach those police, not just with the black people, Latinos, or white, to anybody, any human being. They got to train those police better how to react. Obviously, policemen got a tough job. They got a tough job. We all know that. Right now, if one of you guys want to be a police, I will tell you no.
Yeah.
No. Why? Because they're not protected.
Well,
it's scary. It's not just what it's a problem.
But that's the problem. That's the hard part, I think, with our game, Major League Baseball. Obviously, the NBA does it. The NBA is the first one that did it. But let's be honest, NBA is 95, 96% African American. Okay, baseball is very diverse. Okay, so to have a whole team do something, like I know there's players that have cop family members. So for the whole team, from the general manager, all
because all it really takes is for someone to be like, "Hey, I'm not comfortable doing this," and then you have a problem. But
yeah, correct.
It's great to see that MLB has been unified. That all the teams decided to do this. I mean, they're not playing. Obviously, these guys were one of the only ones, and we see Dominic Smith running off. I know he had a very powerful video. He even started crying. I don't get involved with any of the politics or anything like that. I believe right is right and wrong is wrong. And I just feel like, we should all treat each other better.
But you know what? I want to bring this up because I think people are making a mistake. Okay. And this is why this is so touching, because professional sports hits our lives. And I think it wakes a lot of people up. I don't think people realize how much people are into professional sports. Go ask the NBA. The ratings are down. But Major League Baseball to do this is a big thing because, number one, Jackie Robinson, the way that the game is built, but this is something people need to realize. And I think this is why the players are doing this. They haven't said it. This is not political, okay? Meaning just because the president of whoever's sitting in that office, it didn't start with him. It's been happening for a lot of years. I'm 36 years old, okay? One of my first memories as a child of a big event that happened in the news was Rodney King, okay? And I don't even know who president was when Rodney King was there. Okay, so maybe I don't remember. I'm just saying, like, so it's been happening for a long time. So is it? It's one of those things. It's like, what was the tipping point? Okay, what was the point that changed everything? It could be right now, and that's the part that people don't understand. It could be people have gotten tired. It could happen with one thing, or it can happen with another thing. So do they keep playing though? My question is, does Major League Baseball shut down the season? Or do they keep playing?
No, I believe that they're going to keep playing, and I know that the NBA is going to resume. They said this weekend. I do love that I know I read something about players donating their salaries.
Yeah, so that's the next one. So we can go
the salary to who?
No. So the players creating.
No, you're saying to send a police to a burial academy.
So we don't know. So the Players Alliance, that's actually our next topic. The Players Alliance is a group of African American former and current players, Major League Baseball members, and front office executives. They've created this group. They created it way before this. And for today's game, and I believe the next two games, every player that's part of the alliance will donate their money. They have their own cost. So what I like about this, and again, talking baseball world controls baseball world. As a teammate, I know that you're doing something for your thing, and it's going for whatever they decide. So however they decide to donate that money, it's controlled by the players and that group. It's not like they're getting money and giving it to another random group out there. They're actually controlling that money, which I think is cool. And it's a lot of big name players. A lot of, when you look at the salaries, they're going to donate.
I love that. But I hear one of the players say, "This is not enough." A white kid. I can say it, Yolito.
Yeah, Lucas Yolito.
This is a great step, but it's not enough. We have to start. It's a country.
Well, there's only so much. There's only so much they can do, and everything. Change starts with yourself.
Yeah.
So if you do see something and something is out of whack, and then you should feel, if it does hit you in a certain way, you should feel the right to address it and say, hey, you know what, we need to do better. And you know what? I don't know what month is it? August. 2020 is just going to go down in the history as the craziest, wildest times, and it's only going to. We have an election coming up. This year is historic. Like, it could. I mean, it's the craziest year I've ever. I mean, I'm only 34, but this is by far the nuttiest, craziest year.
But I don't want to see anyone.
I hope not.
You know what, bro? I'm telling you, I'm 56. And in December 31st, everybody called each other when one year went by. Is anybody cry? Say they feel bad because then you go by a wall.
2020 can't go by.
Well, again, we're all healthy, but I think that for someone like Julio to say that, I think that he meant that it's not going to change. But I mean, it's something, and I completely agree with this. Okay, and I could say this about the NBA because they're the big ones in front in the news, and my opinion about LeBron James is completely different. We're not getting on to the show. But Jackie Robinson, okay, today's Jackie Robinson Day. And one thing I always say about this, just like with Clemente, I think, don't honor him just on that day. Meaning, to honor a player, you don't need to have a jumbotron and the picture and the number. I think that you honor someone the way that you carry yourself, the way that you view the game, the way that you respect the game. So I think what Giolito means is, like, let's not pretend like everyone get off the field and hold each other. And 2 weeks from now, we go back to being, we go back to being prejudiced, to saying things behind people's backs. So I think that that's what he meant of, I don't think it's like changing rules, but if you're going to stand up for that, I think the hardest thing to do as a professional athlete, okay, is to stand up to something. And I always put Muhammad Ali as an example, okay? Muhammad Ali gave up his world championship belt, okay, in the prime of his career, and basically lost everything because he refused to go to war because of it ruined his principles, okay? So when you compare that to like a 1 or 2 day walk on, it's like it's not because we're gonna talk both sides. People are saying, "Oh, you don't want to play? Okay, do this. Do a Pat Tillman, retire. Okay, LeBron, you'll get hired in 2 seconds, and go be a law enforcement."
That's not gonna happen because there's different levels of protest.
No, that's what I mean. So I think as a pro athlete, you have to be.
I think what this does, what this does is bring awareness.
Oh, of course,
to the situation because everybody
awareness.
This all this
like
does.
Go ahead or watch out.
Yeah, no. This raises awareness, meaning more people are like, wow. Like if you were looking forward to watching the games, I know the Sox are doing well, and if they're not playing the game because of this protest, someone that wasn't as aware, they're like, man, this is really.
And it was easier for them to do because there's no fans in the stands.
A lot easier.
If owners and general managers would have had a really hard time for the teams to walk away with fans in the stands, because then there's a money situation, and that happened again. I think that the rumor of like the leakage of the Rob Manfred conversation and Brody and the whole thing, the whole novella and the hot mess that's happening in New York,
because they did it. That was apologize. I don't know.
Well, he obviously he made a mistake.
Okay.
Yeah, but he can't. The owners, this is something people need to realize, okay? And again, this is not utopia. This is not like, oh, we're all friends. Owners are owners. They're the boss, okay? There's a reason you don't see bosses hanging out like in the beach, like we're buddies because of your boss. Very rarely do you have a Mark Cuban, Jerry Reinsdorf relationship with a player, okay? The owners are going to come out and tell, no matter what we think about Brody, Brody's an employee who has a really high salary. The owner, the whole positive, be like, what are you doing? Rob Manfred works for the owners. Mm-hmm. People in baseball, I don't, and this is why I hate when history's erased. They have no idea who Rob Manfred works for. Rob Manfred works for the owners.
Yeah.
And people don't get that. Owners change the rule. It's their league. If the owners tomorrow say, we want to start with runner on first and third, every game, they can do it. This is not a players' league. Players, stop pretending that you're an employee.
Or that you're not replaceable. Right. So if you're asking for a guy that's like, I want $8 million, well, there's a guy behind you that'll play for $2 million.
That's what I mean, though. So when people talk about owners, like, I know, and the walking out is amazing, but the owners, like, we saw the power. They'll put people wherever they want. Who's going to fire Rob Manfred when the owners say, you're fired?
The owners.
That's the reality of it. So when people need to realize about the owners, the NBA, guess what, guys? There's teams that don't want to play. There's guys that want to go home. They're in a bubble. They're bored. Yes. Before all this happened, now you're worried because you got kids at home.
And apparently 2 or 3 teams were ready to walk out, and then the other teams were like, "No, what about our money?" Like, whoa.
That's another thing. You talk if you walk away and you have a lot of money, but Charles Barkley said it best. It's easy to walk away when you've made hundreds of millions of dollars. It's hard to walk away. Those guys need money.
That's what it's in baseball.
The same thing in baseball. So you need to. And again, this is the thing. Do you think ESPN or whoever's covering baseball, if they suspend it next week, there's not going to be a lawsuit?
Oh, yeah.
We bought a product, we invested.
Or they're going to say, oh, no, because they protested something that's so big. No. It's people need to realize, like, this is a heartfelt thing, but at one point it becomes real life, okay? Real life to utopia life. Like, you play stupid games, you're going to get stupid results.
Yes.
And that's the reality of it. So you need to, again, and I love the fact that Major League Baseball is letting teams talk. I love the fact that they're letting guys wear the t-shirt that says Black Lives Matter.
I love that. They don't because they
No.
This has
been a surprise. Like, I love the fact that they're letting players at least be able to do this. Again, I did not know this. Roberto Clemente 21, they started the game a day later because the players did not want to play on Martin Luther King Jr.'s funeral. Okay? So Major League Baseball said in that year, it started. So this has been happening for a while. Again, I think now you have a bigger voice. I think it actually has been good. My fear, I've seen it with players that are retired, being very voiceful of like, what's going on? You guys know you're happy. No current player has taken a stand saying, this is ridiculous. What are we doing? Which is good.
Yeah, and I saw that, even Chicago athlete, Brian Urlacher got called a lot of heat.
Oh, he got a lot of heat. But again, that's his right. That's his right. That's his opinion.
Okay, that's the problem we have in this country. When you have a opinion, everybody attack you.
Correct, but I think it's hard as a current player. I'm saying I think it's really hard.
No, just know that you have your opinion.
Yeah,
but it's going to come with consequences.
By the way, the consequences. What happened if
nobody likes it?
If I make an opinion like either way, people think, oh, it's this or it's that. People can lose their job just because they have an opinion.
No, right.
That's not correct. And then that's not
it's not right.
I know for a fact you will lose your job because you have your own opinion.
Well, I want to know like it or not, but I think like the hard part, which I'm looking into, like if I was a clubhouse boy, I'm going back to Ozzy Bad Boy, you managing, you being a player, okay? When they're deciding to not play, that's a very hard conversation to have because again, when people are like, oh, the Dodgers. Mookie Betts. I'm like, yes, Mookie Betts is your best player. So whatever Mookie says is going to be done. And Mookie Betts, and I'm saying though, he's got clout. Mookie says something, he's got power. And Hayward on the Cubs said, I don't want to play. And the Cubs player said, good for you.
Correct. Like we have our good friend Manny Lou Rosario is asking, what if Aubrey Hall is a current player right now?
He would probably. I don't think he'll be saying. No, I don't think he would say anything now because I don't think Aubrey is a mistake he'll make. I don't think Aubrey's a racist. Never been a racist to me. I'm actually friends with Aubrey, with Ozzy. Maybe he had his way of thinking, but I think players are very scared on either side to go out and say something while they're playing. Also, because you don't want to affect your teammate. You don't want your teammate, and that's the hard part about baseball. 25 guys, staff. When your team gets bigger, your family gets bigger, and I think that's really it sucks because in baseball, that's a stigma that you have with you for the rest of your life.
And somebody else is asking if they should. UC Rodriguez is saying that Roberto Clemente has done so much on and off the field that they should retire as number 21 around the league.
By the way, I don't know if I'm big a Roberto Clemente fan than Ozzy Guillén. Me, I'm always stick up for the man because if you do that, then you're gonna retire a lot of people's number. Okay, Roberto Clemente to us is God. To me, is God. Your second name.
Actually, my second name is Roberto because of Roberto Clemente. So obviously,
they ask me every day about it. I'm pro Roberto Clemente. I'm pro the guy. Got the museum of Roberto Clemente, Mrs. Bella recipe. But we have to be careful.
What they should not retire the number for everybody, but they should do something. I love this idea. The Roberto Clemente Day, and everyone wears 21. If you're Latino, they give you the option.
If you are Latino,
I'm saying this.
Whoever want to wear.
But I said, and they got to do it for different players. They say this year is going to be Roberto Clemente Day, and on that day, whoever wants to wear 21 on their team or whatever, you get to wear 21, and on your roster says 21, and you bring up that awareness, and then the next one you do Frank Robinson, and that's how when you promote who they were. Because I think the coolest thing about 42 is that all the players get to wear the number on that day. I think that's really cool. Again, it's all the things that changes the roster, but you're promoting it. I think retiring.
He wasn't the first Latino.
The most impactful.
The way Roberto Clemente. Wow.
I love the guy. I love Latinos. I love when Puerto Rican players wear 21.
Wow.
Yeah, because you're saying he wears 21 because Roberto. Roberto is leading on the field. I used to think about that with 42. Move on. Like, now you don't see 42 on the field. So I think when the number's on the field, you say you might not even know Roberto Clemente's name. And you look Latino, you got 21. I said, it's got to be because of
people they don't know why is the name and why you wear 21. 21 is because all the letters he wears in that.
No, correct. But I'm saying as a player. Like I'm saying, like 25 years from now, I see a Latino kid wear 21. And I always think, oh, it's because of Roberto. Just like if I see a Venezuelan kid wear, 13. I'm like, oh, it's because of again, it's an association.
Listen, we have. I know that the show's coming to an end, but there's so much going on in 2020 that even Messi.
Well, Messi's gonna leave.
Even Messi's gonna leave. I mean, literally,
Barcelona. Messi's leaving Barcelona, and he's going to come to play
in the MLS. For the Fire.
And he's going to play for the Bears. My question was this though, because there's a lot of funny pictures going around of Leo in like every baseball uniform team because it was just funny. Okay, I know there's a huge controversy who's better between Ronaldo and Messi.
It's an acquired taste.
I have a solution for it.
Acquired taste. I have a solution for it. My dad keeps
I have a solution. Messi and Ronaldo go on a Major League Baseball field. And
whoever throws the ball better,
whoever plays better baseball is better player. Who would do better?
No, but I mean, obviously, I don't even know because I've never even seen him throw a ball. But
you know, we see it. We don't say I never see Messi, but I see it.
On the Dodgers, you do it. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, this guy's a historic player for his team. He's tired of losing. We don't know, but he's been there since he was 13 years old, and he wants to leave.
Maybe because you know what? Maybe because he's tired to everything.
They blame him.
He blamed up for that.
Yeah, you guys. I always tell people this because I see it from both sides.
So you hate Messi?
No. I don't like Messi, but I realize he's an unbelievable player. But I always tell people this because I try to give them this perspective. Because people are like, they owe it to the fans. No, they don't. My dad played. When my dad got hurt, his teammates didn't come and knock on his door and say, hey, Ozzy, are you okay? You're by yourself, and it's your family. So, Leo, do whatever is best for yourself and for your family. Because fans in Catalonia and Barcelona aren't going to pay his bill.
The same thing with
because people always think they always think that the player owes something to you.
That's what I mean. And with this walkout stuff, I'm going to say something real quick. We don't know people's personal lives. Meaning players, okay? You don't know if someone in the past got abused by the police. You know that players been in that situation. These guys are brothers, fathers, sons. If some player in any league wants to walk away, just like they did from Corona, they should be allowed, and no one should judge them because if I was a coach, for example, and I had a 19-year-old son who was in college, who was maybe African American, and I knew that he was out living that life, I feel like I needed to go there and be with him and be like, I need to explain this to you. But you know, conversations you need to have with your kids of like, hey man, when they stop you,
I know because I know. I mean, if I was in college right now, we'd have this. You know, there'd be an issue with running with the police. I would be a lot more scared now than I was in 2004.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. So I think as a for Messi, I'm saying for Messi, you can also realize what's best for your family. Because here's the thing, loyalty. No, Tom Brady is playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Exactly.
No one has brought more money and more happy moments to a team and an owner and a team between Tom Brady and the Patriots. And he's playing for the boss. Okay? So owners and teams are not.
You know why? Because when my dad was 35, 36, you think the White Sox were going to give him a contract? No, Ozzy, you know why? Because you've been so great for us.
You think Detroit?
We're going to give you a contract.
Detroit's not regretting Miguel's contract.
Exactly, because teams take care of teams and their business.
You know, you always say, by the way, thank you to the White Sox fans, even call fans, because this is a business. When you're not produced anymore, they don't care who you are.
Exactly. No, and again, that's the nature of the beast. So again, the last topic before we wrapped up, because it went so fast, was who's hot and who's not. Who's hot? I'm saying who's hot?
We close on it.
I'm saying the players that are playing well.
City of Chicago, burning.
Who's not hot is I think that the COVID. I think I was going to say this. I think the who's hot. I think the last week they controlled the COVID situation. In the words of Yachty, F COVID. I'm just saying, like, I think that they did a better job for a minute there. For 2 weeks, it felt like there was 4 teams that weren't playing because of COVID. I feel like they've controlled it. I mean, it's still around. But I feel like teams got the protocols in check after the whole Cleveland, Marlins, all those teams. And I think who's not learned from that. They learned from that.
We saw last week. We had a topic. The Sox beat the Cubs in the series. They're hot. They're hot. They have a very favorable schedule, so you expect them to be in the playoffs. They should be in the playoffs. I mean, it's 18.
They don't. I'll be very
if the playoffs ended today, they play the Yankees in the first round.
Playoff.
Well, that's your opinion. This 2020, nothing's normal, so that's not regular playoffs. But Cubs are still in first place. The Reds are doing better. I don't know what's going to happen with Bauer. I don't think he's going to get traded. So
it's a hard thing to trade
yeah,
right now. Like one thing,
you win 4 in a row. You're right back in.
How do you adjust with games getting canceled even before you even know you're going to the stadium?
Like, hey, you got to make an adjustment. You got to make an adjustment.
Oh, and welcome back, Yolmer Sanchez to the Sox.
You got to make an adjustment because you always try to plan B. Plan A is the players go out to the field. Behind the scene is a lot of talk, a lot of, like the White Sox going to move Giolito and Keiko to face Minnesota. It's a lot of little things people, they don't know about it. They talked about it. Like, okay, the game's canceled today. Who's pitching today? So-and-so. How about tomorrow? Giolito said, no, so-and-so going to be Giolito start.
Well, also because you got to worry about players' health.
Yeah.
And we and the Guillén family have a jam-packed. Osney's coming to town today to play baseball, and Ozzy's having not this Ozzy, the little Ozzy.
Getting a rebate back.
The real Ozzy.
Ozzy Joseph is getting baptized, and we're having a party for my mom on Sunday. Are you going to give out your address or like your phone number?
Yeah, don't do your phone number.
It said he gave up the address. 134.
No. People.
So
that was okay with me. They're not. Few people call me. Yes. I talk to them. No.
I would be texting you and sending you selfies. Like, hey, Ozzy, screw you.
You know what I mean? But what I say, you say something I don't like.
Yeah, you
when I reply back, don't put him to the
Yeah, and speaking of that, I know you guys, if we're in Spain, soccer, the Supercopa, they're going to let fans in, 30% capacity.
Oh,
Europe is, they're
wait a minute. I say that. That's how the conversation
starts. That's not going to happen.
I say, maybe no, but you can.
It's political.
I know the Major League Baseball can do anything about it, at least.
Major League Baseball wants to.
Okay, but.
They might have a bubble for the playoffs. California, Texas.
But that's it.
So it's
family here,
a
family, and
you could do it again. The situation here, it was kind of one of those things that, like 2020, if this would have happened a year into like a presidential something, you don't
correct
because you bring back to normalcy. There's just too many things on the balance right now. Nothing's gonna go back to normal for a while. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, after the election,
and I've never voted, and I made the decision that I'm gonna vote this year.
Well, good to know. So. For everyone,
yeah.
I want to vote just because my Pat Novak, my dear friend for 100 years. They say you guys better vote. They encouraged to. I said like,
well, because you voted in Florida, nice swing state.
I never.
I'm voting.
I'm waiting for anyone, but I have to vote in because my country, where I'm born, it went through big problems for 100 years, 100 a lot of years, just because that. I never voted in Venezuela. I don't feel any different anyway. I might vote, but vote here is different. Vote here, you sit there. And
I'm doing it.
We're going to make 3 hours ride to vote.
This guy's going to vote once I said like 2 minutes.
So this week, though, stay safe. Jackie Robinson Day. Support the teams when they get back. Support your players. Stay tuned here on La Vida Baseball. Thank you, Jackie Robinson, because I don't think without Jackie, there's no Latino players. There's no Latino people doing baseball shows and talking about baseball. Like our family, this guy doesn't play, this guy doesn't manage. Our life would be very, very different without someone like Jackie Robinson. And he doesn't get a lot of credit, but the individual, Mr. Branch Rickey, who was a visionary and said, you know what, I'm going to be the guy that lets Jackie come to my team, and we're going to deal with it. Branch Rickey is a guy that sometimes is forgotten in the story because he was the owner that said, you can play on my team.
And my mom, that was the only book that I would read. The only book I'd ever read was the Jackie. I know the Jackie Robinson story inside and out.
So I'm saying, so Branch Rickey as an owner, again, it goes all the way back. An owner said, you can play on my team. I want you to play on my team. I want to be this team that represents that. The Dodgers represent that. So
what were the Dodgers in back then?
Pardon me?
What's
Brooklyn? It's baseball. He's good at that. So everyone, please stay safe. Please. And have a great.
It's a heart, not a circle.
Like that.
One day you'll get it right.
Like this.
One day you'll get it right.
And then I'm going to deal with you in a few minutes.
Good luck with the dollar. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.